much. David, you have to respond to that. Labour rescued the NHS and it's all been downhill from there.
Well, I think Steve touched on a really good point there. The NHS has been fantastic at delivering that sort of hospital care, these acute illnesses and the life-threatening illnesses. But the NHS is also under strain from these minor incidents. I myself had quite a severe cut on my finger just a few months ago, was continuously bleeding for about 2 weeks, no matter what I was doing to it. So, of course, I contact NHS 111. I explain to them what I'm doing. I've changed my bandage. I'm still bleeding. And I'm sent down to A&E. Within 10 minutes, I'm sat in front of a former senior paramedic who told me straight away, stop removing the bandage. You're taking off the scab. That was a waste of the NHS's time and the waste of an A&E appointment when someone could have told me that over the phone and saved that time. And I think that's why it's important to look at this pharmacy first scheme and to say, well, actually, if we can stop people needing to go into A&E in the first place, if we can prevent people from needing to go to a GP, we can begin to tackle those waiting lists. But I think that there's something really important for your listeners to sort of understand here, which is I think both the Conservatives and Labour are actually promising quite similar things. We're both promising that we'll tackle waiting lists. Labour are promising these new centres for scanning, bringing everything under one roof, which is the same as the community diagnostic centres that the Conservatives have already built across the country. The question is, how will that be delivered and funded? Now, if you look in Labour's manifesto, they make two promises about how they will achieve these new GP appointments. One of them is that they're going to pay NHS staff overtime to do extra shifts. I can't point to any NHS staff that I know who are crying out for longer hours. And
but isn't that necessary, though, David? Because there's so many huge staff shortages right across the NHS. So surely that is a result of that.
There are staff shortages, but I don't think you solve that by stretching staff further. I think you do that by making sure that fewer people are needing to access those acute services, treating them first at their pharmacies. But I think the other important thing to point is that Labour are going to fund these new GP appointments with a tax on private schools. And what I think is important for Premier's listeners here is that tax on private schools, according to the Independent Schools Council, is going to impact independent faith schools. I don't think that we should be penalising people who want to make that choice. I think the way that we fix the NHS is by taking it back to focusing on those acute treatments that it was set up to designed for, and making sure that people who have more minor situations, such as skin infections or a sore throat, can get access to rapid treatment through their pharmacy, so we free up those GP appointments.
Okay, well, Andy, if I can bring you in.